In today's podcast, we're going to be talking about belief. Not just any belief, but God's belief within you. Let us begin.
The belief that is the most powerful of all beliefs, correct?
Correct. The unquestionable belief.
Now, we don't want to force our beliefs and our decisions and what we believe in on anyone. We aren't centering this podcast towards only God-fearing people. We are just simply going to be providing you with the information of why we believe what we believe and how this belief is what we believe to be the most powerful belief in the world. The belief in God is the most powerful belief in the world, and for what reason? That's what we're going to be answering in this short podcast that we have for you today.
Well, when you truly believe in the Bible, it will drive you to action. Belief is not a passive feeling. Believing is more than intellectual acknowledgement that the Bible is true. Believing is also more than having confidence that the scriptures are divinely inspired, right?
Yeah.
To truly believe means to have faith that God is alive, is active, and is keenly interested in all of us today.
Yeah, it's not saying, I hope that God's listening right now. It's knowing God's listening right now.
Mm-hmm. But
it's
without
believing.
faith, But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he who comes to God must believe that he is. Hebrews 11:6. Here it is written that God is, not that God was. Read Hebrews chapter 11, and you will get insight into how the heroes of faith in the Old Testament overcame tremendous obstacles and severe difficulties through their faith. They served a living God who helped them in amazing ways.
Helped them, and it wasn't always an easy path for these people, but it always ended up at the right place.
Yeah, because believing is not passive.
It's very, very active. You've got that right. You have to be active and you have to emulate your belief. Otherwise, you don't really believe it, do you? It's a sort of wishing and hoping and a want to be believer.
Yeah, and those words are never found in the Bible.
Wishing and hoping.
Correct.
Not in the context that I used them there. Hope is a major thing in the Bible, a major theme in the Bible, but I think it's a different sort of spin on hope than what we usually will use it as in America, at least here.
Correct. What I mean by what I said is that it's not in the context that we're utilizing it right now.
I'm not hoping with a doubtful mindset. My hope is a solid hope. It's a hope that we know is going to come true, and we just hope it comes true sooner than later. Absolutely,
because faith in God compels me to action, as it's written in the last part of Hebrews 11:6, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. The heroes of faith diligently sought God and were very active in their faith. By faith, Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear, prepared an ark. Hebrews 11:7. We too today must diligently seek God by reading, believing, and simply obeying his word and having faith that he will reward us in our diligence.
So how can we prove that a belief in God is the most powerful belief? Why can't I believe in myself and that be a more powerful belief?
Believing in yourself is believing in the creator that created you.
Okay, believe in your own ability. Believing in your own ability. But you can believe in your own ability to be able to, let's say, fly without an airplane or any other type of tool, and it still won't happen no matter how much you try. Correct?
Correct.
So why is putting your faith, your trust in God so much more powerful? What can God do that we can't?
Authenticate everything, not only in his name, but in your name as well.
I'm going to put it in a context for all of you who are either on the verge of believing in God or just straight up don't believe in God. and make a sort of case for why the belief in God is the most powerful belief in the whole world. And as relation to quantum physics here, and this is something I love to relate to because it is just, in my eyes, it is proving God's existence over and over and over again, proving the fact of what God does over and over and over again. I mean, you name it, omnipresence, he can prove that. Two particles can be in the same place at the same time in different areas. You know, all-knowing, we know that we live in a universe that behaves like a hologram, and the way the hologram is set up is it has each and every part of the whole picture in every pixel, in every piece of that hologram. Really, really interesting. We'll have links in the description below to summarize all of these. And on top of that, you have the fact that focus being put on something outside of us is all that's needed for us to be able to affect what's outside of us. So that's where belief comes in, our individual beliefs in God. When we are not going on our own power, when we are not going on our own focus and our own sort of consciousness energy, and we are going on the fact that we have God behind us in this, that makes it a million, like infinite more powerful, because we have this infinite being that wants something to get done, and if you want something to get done, it'll be done. He says that over and over and over in the Bible, Old and New Testament. And so if you believe in this infinite being, even if you are one of the people who I referred to who don't really have a belief in Jesus yet, if you were to place your faith in an infinite being, in the God, the creator of the universe, who is all-powerful, then that belief in itself is going to heighten your energy, your output, and the ways in which you affect the reality around you, because that belief is so strong. Your consciousness is heightened. Your consciousness is stronger because it's not your own power. I don't have to believe in my limited ability. I believe in God's unlimited ability to get something done. And that's a powerful belief. That's something that it has no limitations. And that powerful of a belief can really do some powerful things, knowing the science to back it up too, in quantum physics. So God is the all-powerful creator. God is the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, the all-knowing God. He's the God that nothing goes and transpires without him seeing and knowing about it.
Correct. And through our own free will, we can be able to tap in or harness into that power.
That's right. We can actually be in a relationship, a personal friendship with this God, and having the belief in this all-powerful entity, this being who loves us so very much, actually will give you so much more belief in oneself, just because you have that best friend, that one who is on your side. And even if he's not aligned with something that you may want for your life, he's not in agreement with something that you may want in your life, you know that it's all for your best. It's all for the best outcome in your life, because he does love you.
Absolutely. And he who never speaks a lie could never lie with it.
If you want to test that theory that God never lies, I mean, look at all the prophecies that have already come true. I mean, there's over 200 biblical prophecies, and half of them have already come to pass.
And what's so funny is that most people think that we're in our end days. But you have to understand is that for hundreds of thousands of years, people have thought that we were in our end days as well.
Correct. That's correct. They say that in the New Testament, that they already live at a time when he could come at any moment. They were already expecting him. Absolutely.
And why was that?
Well, 2,000 years ago, Christ just died, and he just got resurrected, and they're just now getting access to all this different theology, this prophecy that has come now, and it's a very active time for people's faith, and I'm sure that brings an energy of urgency to them to be the best that they can be as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and more importantly, if Jesus can rise from the dead in that short a period of time, it shows that time doesn't exist between God and us.
Mm-hmm. 3 days.
So when it comes to end of days, since the days of the week are man-made, since time is man-made, and these prolific stories are man-made, the only thing that isn't man-made is what God says that will happen.
So ultimately, to summarize, we affect the world around us with our limited energy, and God's unlimited energy can get anything done with the power of our intention with God, because it's no longer just a limited energy.
When you partner with God, you have no fake, phony facade. Everything that happens to you and for you comes from, originates from, stems from God Himself.
So we want to urge you to invite in that unlimited Creator who loves you more than we even love ourselves, because He is your very best friend. Thank you for listening to this short on the OIC podcast. We'll be bringing you several of these in the coming weeks, and we have got a lot planned. And so with all that we have planned, we urge you to take a visit to our Patreon and consider becoming a faithful contributor to our podcast and our website in order for us to be able to have the financial ability to bring you all the blessings that we have planned to bring you in the future.
Like, comment, and share so that other people can care the way that you do today.
This has been another OIC podcast brought to you by our faithful OIC contributors. We have so much more planned for the future. We will meet you there. Thank you.